So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends discuss the Columbus Crew. On this episode, we review the LAFC game from this past weekend. We look ahead to the Charlotte-Atlanta double game week this coming week, and we're going to go through our predictions, results from last week. I'm excited to report that we have a couple new folks on the show. New folks, they're not new. Chris Lamacchia and Mort's Welsh cousin Morg. Welcome to the club, guys.
Hello, it's me, Mort's Welsh cousin, Chris Lamacchia.
So before we jump in, I want to hear from you guys.
Tip of the hat!
Thanks, Ben. So with me in the club are Ben and Trey. I should say
we would never
that
leave you guys.
Hawes is at the International Cube tournament in Wisconsin, and Mort is. I saw him earlier today at O'Hare. He is on the way to the International Cube headquarters in Norway. To not play Cube, just a couple of squares, but. With us are Chris Lamacchia, Morgan Hughes. Let's start with Chris. How you been, man? What's new?
Doing good, doing well. New things are the crew is winning away games for once. We have entered not only the goals have come era, but we've entered the wins on the road era, which is a nice thing.
The goals don't stop coming.
Right. Is this an appropriate time to make a "that's what she said" joke?
Yep. Always.
Yeah, and just living the dream of an amazing crew season. We are living in the golden ages.
Yeah,
and I know many have famously said that we have always won on the road. Those among them is Morgan. How have you been, man? Last time we talked to you, it was during the Super Bowl. And now, as we sit here, Copa America is going on. I'm looking forward to the next big game for the next time that you join us. But for now, what's new? We're still listening to Aces, and we're still wearing our supporters supply gear. I have an ask about our new Run Club.
I am wearing it.
We're gonna we want to make some new Run Club race kits. But what are you up to, man?
Thanks for having me in. What an honor. What an honor it is to finally meet Chris Lamacchia. I've heard just a bunch of very bad things about you. No, what's new with me? I'm the schmuck that every week edits the right side of the page on the Columbus Crew subreddit. I keep all of the schedules up to date, and the standings and the goal scorers, and basically what the first thing I do every week is I take the least recent of the three previous games, I remove it, and then add the most recent at the top. The one I removed today was the game against the Revs, which was a 5-1 win on the road. Okay. I had to then add at the top a 5-1 win on the road against LAFC. I can tell you. Did you
just switch the name, or did you have to? Yep. Did you delete the whole thing?
It's code, so it's it's copying and pasting code and then putting in whatever the. But
do you use hotkeys when you're doing that, or?
Of course, I'm not a child. But two 5-1 victories in one season is outrageous. 2 5-1 victories on the road in the last 4 games is mind-numbing. It's something that I'm incapable of processing.
Yeah. And we expected to do well against Porter's Revs, even though they were in good form. But this one surprised me. I don't know. I don't think anyone saw the 5-1 coming against LA in LA. But that was great. How about you guys, Ben, Trey? What were your viewing arrangements for the game yesterday?
Home. I was home, recovering from Beer Olympics, in which I played as Scotland.
I saw something on Twitter about syncing up the Doran radio broadcast with the Apple broadcast. Is that just like you just have them both going at the same time kind of thing? Or like, is there some intelligent way to do that?
Is that like the thing where you do like the Pink Floyd while you watch?
Yeah, it's like that.
Alice
right. Yeah, it's like that.
Wonderland in Chains or something.
But better. I mean,
the guy in the background that was actually a goose.
No, I ended up watching on delay. Finished at about 1:00. Turned on my phone to 72 text messages from you guys.
Yeah.
About the game. So
yeah, it was a late one. Don't know why they didn't pull it forward really, but anyway, okay. Well, let's review the game from LA real quick, and then we'll talk about it. Trey?
Hey, what happened? Facts that could save your life.
All right, Saturday, July 13, 2024 at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, California, in front of a reported 22,127 fake black and gold fans. The Crew faced off against last year's runners-up in MLS Cup.
Hold on, were they hired extras? What? Like, you think
they seemed to vacate pretty quickly, so probably.
Okay.
Were they crisis actors? Proceed.
Crisis? What? Okay. The Crew dominated in every positive statistical category. Possession with the 63 to 37% advantage. Total shots 19 to 18. Shots on target 8 to 5. Big chances 4 to 2, and accurate passes 90% to 83%. Fouls committed 6 to LAFC's 17, and red cards 1 for Columbus, 2 for LAFC. Oh, and also the feels like of soccer XG, which Crew finished the match with a 2.11 expected goals and 5 actual goals.
Did you say that the shots were about the same?
Yeah, they had like 17 shots,
they were.
didn't they?
Yep. 19 to 18.
That does not feel right.
We had 8 on target. They had 5.
I feel like they had less shots.
Yeah.
I feel like an XG of 2.11 when we scored 5 is just stupid as hell.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Chris or Morgan, any thoughts on the XG statistic?
It's stupid and I hate it.
It means nothing to me unless I have an axe to grind and then I wield it.
Oh,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
When I need it, I'm in love with it. But just in general, nah.
When I want to hurt the Columbus Crew, I reference XG often.
XG is like saying that there's a 40% chance of rain. I'm sure that somewhere somebody finds it to be useful, but really, you're either scoring goals or you're not.
It's worse, and that's why I reference it as the feels like a soccer, because I hate it when the news goes, it is 90 degrees and it feels like 101. It's like, no, it feels like it's 90 with 80% humidity. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, feels like is made up. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It means crap.
What does it?
Hey, it's 20 degrees version of vibes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So what is that? If we
except for there's no stats to back it up.
If we have there must be stats. So like, is it? It has to do with like.
Well, the thing is, there are stats. The stats are called goals, and they so infrequently match up to expected goals.
Not
on this podcast.
Well, that's what we said. We said last week was it's like, is it just a dig? Like, it's like, we expected less. We expected less out of you.
I did not expect that goal at all. Cucho's goal, I did not expect. I'll give that a point too.
Neither did Hugo Lloris.
We'll get there. Yeah. He's just a guy with a fedora typing numbers like.
I don't know. I mean, does it have to do with like if the goals kind of materialize quickly or are skillful or something? If they could have been scored by anyone, then it's a higher XG or
I think it is divided into zones, and it's like if you take it from here with one touch, you have an expected goal. It's math.
It reminds me of Pam got me for one Christmas like a 3D printer. It was like early in the 3D printing boom, and I was like, I'm sure this would be really sweet for someone who is intelligent. So thank you.
Yes.
So
did you ask for it?
No.
Or did she just get it for you?
Not. She just got it for me. Like XG, I'm sure with someone like Matt Bernhardt or Elliot McKinley, like they can use that to illustrate a larger, more beautiful and more intelligent hot take. With someone like me, I'm just like, didn't equal the amount of goals that I saw, dumb nerd.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that like so if the Crew ends up with 2 goals or with 3, it's kind of like, okay, that makes sense. But currently we're on a run of 20-2. And you're throwing our XG is at 2.11. Like I know it's based on stats, on shots on target, shots in front of goal, who took the shots, all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't make sense when you score 5 goals.
Maybe having a low XG now will set us up for setting new XG records in the future.
Yeah, possibly.
Something only an FC Cincinnati fan could care about. For 10 championships.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
All right.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
moving forward.
Parades.
All right. So we're gonna try and move through this pretty fast. 38th minute, Crew open the scoring. Mars, numero uno.
Yeah. Okay. So with Haas out, I volunteered to do the goal write-ups.
Huge mistake.
I was up late, not writing these write-ups last night, and then today I was like, I'm gonna do it. So today, what I did was I took Mort's car. I gave him VIP treatment. I met him at O'Hare. He drove up. I took his car, and he's going to be gone for a month. So his car is at my house now. And so I was like, I'm going to write these goals in the Uber ride down to the airport. Right. And the Uber driver just would not stop talking to me. And I had the
1 star.
Yeah.
What's his name? Tell us his name. What's his Uber number? Do they have numbers?
No, and I was like trying to rewatch these goals. And anyway, so man,
so
wish me luck here.
Not have
That's a lot of qualification.
Yeah. So okay, all right. So 38th minute, Max holds up the left side about halfway between midfield and the 18-yard box. He dishes to Cucho, who turns and plays a quick 1-2 with Rossi to charge the box. Meanwhile, Max is tracking play along the side of the box and gets the pass from Cucho. And when pressure comes at the top corner, his first touch puts the ball level with the 6-yard box where it's in the air and is connected with by an in-flying Superman. Ramirez heads the ball near post past Lloris, who is just too slow. Score is 0-1, Crew on top.
Yeah, man. Max was just man. That dude
was great.
Awesome.
It's a good thing everybody loves him.
Yep. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, that was great. That was after his like almost half-field attempt, right?
Correct.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Which would have
the
been
Crew was all over him in the first half.
I'm pretty sure he ran over and hugged. Was his family there, front row?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were all wearing Ramirez jerseys, and they kept flashing after every goal to their family. And there's a couple stills of them just so happy and like giving high fives, and all the people around him were just like so pissed off.
All right, so Crew goes into halftime up 0-1. Coming out 56 minute, an absolute banger. Mars, numero dos.
We're okay. Yeah.
What happens here?
56 minute. Nagby receives a pass at midfield from the left side, advances the ball with his first touch and plays it forward to Ramirez, who prods at the LA's back line, but ultimately lays it back to Morera, who's arriving at the top far corner of the 18-yard box. Morera holds up play, looking for a target, and finds Cucho running toward him about 25 yards from goal. And with his first touch, rockets a shot to the far post. Lloris gets caught flat-footed ball watching, as if he thinks it's over or wide, only to see it tuck in the top right corner side net. Cucho Hernandez, welcome to the club again. Crew 2, LA 0.
I mean, I had to rewind it, right? Because like,
I thought it took a touch off somebody.
It didn't make the whole, like the shot didn't make sense. The way the ball went in didn't make sense. And like the whole crowd went silent, and I thought my audio got cut.
Lloris just watched it.
I was like, what? Yeah,
watched it
100%.
There's nothing he could have done. I mean, I honestly don't think there was anything he could have done. I think it was one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is we've seen a lot of goals recently. How does this one stack up?
It's
really good.
It's up there.
That's a really good goal.
I mean, you watch it before, he's like kind of being marked, and you see him like just check his shoulder where the keeper's at, and then he just makes like a little 3 or 4 foot jog over to like where he's at, and he just plays him, and he just one times it. out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was ready for it.
No.
Oh, so good.
Including the entire 3-2-5-2. When you say that the audio went silent, it's because the stadium just and that is a glorious thing when a visiting team can quiet that stadium. That is indicative of something bigger and better going on.
Yep.
You know, when Chris Dorn is talking shit about your stadium atmosphere, like you guys are getting dad at home.
Stepdad.
It was late at night, all trying to go to bed. Yeah. 60th minute. Mars, tell us about numero trace.
Okay. LA ball on the far side. Mo Farsi is pretty far up the field, about halfway between midfield and the 18-yard box. He attacks the ball at the defender's feet, gains possession, and dishes it quickly to Ramirez, who's advancing more toward the middle of the field. With his first touch, Ramirez sends a scooping pass back toward Cucho, who's waiting at the top corner of the 18. But it's booted toward Lloris by an LA defender, well short and right for an onrushing Rossi, who takes a ground shot at the far post on his first touch with his right foot. It rolls by an outstretched diving Lloris, seen mouthing just out of reach, and the shot banks in off the inside of the far post, all the way to the near side netting. Rossi scores his first goal against LA for the Crew and his fourth in the last 5 games. Columbus Crew 3, Californians 0. Trey?
They had to go down the I-5 to La Brea. Yeah, dude, it was like it was just a poacher's goal. And again, it's like usually Ramirez is the one giving width or stretched, and he was Rossi was just happened to be there. I think that's his like second or third goal this season. That was just like he was just in the right place at the right time and just like stuck it in. Also, I'm not sure. I have no idea what that LAFC player was doing.
None.
Oh, yeah, when he like kind of when he poked it out of the sky. Yeah.
He, like bad touch, but it was like such a weird, and it was like, oh, cool. Well, but
so
he also didn't celebrate, which is fair play to him because you don't celebrate against your ex team.
We finished last season scoring a ton of goals, and then remember we started this season. It took us I don't know 10 games to score more than 2. I mean, you could probably fact check me on that, but. I feel like a lot of this was kind of just hanging in the balance where these shots that were hitting the post weren't going in from Rossi, from Ramirez.
Farsi
I know
had one off the post that was bananas.
Yeah, like if he would have put Russell that in, Rowe was paying rent on the post. I feel like a lot of these goals are just like hitting the better angle. I don't know if it's luck. Maybe that's where expected goals comes in. But anyway,
whatever.
All right, so 82nd minute, Crew makes 2 subs. Yuboa in for Arfston and Matan in for Cucho. And it doesn't take long for Matan to actually make a big impact on the game. Mars.
Sure.
Number 4.
Yeah, Sergei Palencia picks up his second yellow by committing a silly foul at the top corner of the 18 near the on the near side. The foul was on Matan, who had just entered the game, as you said, later stepped up to take the free kick. Cucho was already out. Rossi was still in. Any thoughts on that? Is that just because of the side of the field? Or
2 more games this week. Up 3-0.
All right. Well, Matan was the right Matan for the job because his rocket toward the far post was perfectly placed. On the way in, it was deflected ever so slightly by a header from Christian Ramirez, who could be seen saying, "Give me the Gavin Newsom slick back. I said used to be." The ball pinged off the far post near the ground, leaving the crowd in LA speechless. A choir rose up of Columbus faithful singing, "Columbus Cruisers, ring your bell." LAFC owner and Blue Oyster Cult impersonator Will Ferrell was spotted for the first time saying, "No more cowbell, 4-0 Crew."
Yep. Ran right to the corner, poured some water on that steak. Made some sloppy steaks at Trifani's.
Yep. All right.
Chicken spaghetti at Ciccolini's. Itty bitty jeans.
Crew with 3 more subs. Hinestroza in for Ramirez, Jones in for Farsi, and Taha in for Rossi.
Taha!
89th minute, Crew with number 5. Senor Mars, por favor.
Well, first I'll say in the 85th minute, Goal for LA.
Yeah, whatever.
Did you see the amount? They celebrated as if they had just won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
They were throwing beer on everybody. It's like, got it, guys. Like, your fandom is top. You up the lads.
They
All
are
right.
top
Great.
lad uppers.
Yeah, they love it. They were standing on all the bars doing the pumpy uppies. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we go on to score another.
89th minute, Nagby wins a challenge against that Martinez we keep hearing about. 30 yards out in the center of
It's
the
a
field.
wig, right? We all on the same page? Proceed.
He turns toward goal and dribbles unmarked to the top of the key. Just as Matan's defender decides to peel off and shut Nagby down, Matan charges toward the goal from the left. Nagby finds him in space inside the 18. Matan shoots on the ground with power to the far post, beating Lloris and notching a goal to go with his assist, making Christopher Columbus proud and making another famous Christopher say, "Wow!" 5-1 Crew.
Good walking.
Lucky, I'm assuming. Was that his first goal? I think that's his first goal of the season.
I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, not well. He scored in the Champions Cup. Yeah, in the waning moments of that first Houston game, right?
Yeah.
And then got injured, right? Wasn't he injured on that play? And then he sat out for a while and lost the spot.
He's just tiny boy.
You got.
All right, 90+7. Hinestroza receives the red for lashing out at the LAFC player. Kind of stupid. Whatever. All right. So with this, the original Black and Gold earned their 5th victory in a row to improve to 12-3-6 with the current goal differential of +26.
Damn.
And increase their recent dominance to 20-2 through the last 5 games. And this was LAFC's first loss at home this year.
Can we go back to the Hinestroza thing real fast? Because I said this on Twitter, and I didn't exactly get ratioed, but I didn't expect the amount of pushback that I got. That I'm not seeing from Hinestroza what maybe everybody else is. So you guys pay a whole lot more attention to the actual soccer than I do, because just like XG, I'm all about vibes. And am I off base in thinking that the guy is not delivering to the hype that he brought, or that surrounds him?
No, he's DS 0.1.
0.1. Okay. And then taking, throwing a right hook. It was a weak right hook, but it was a right hook at an opposing player. Kind of, to me, shows that he doesn't have maybe the maturity that we hoped he had. And I realize that he is a young guy, right? Yeah, but how many young guys do we have on the team that have never thrown a right hook during, a match?
Not enough.
Well, in a match that you just came into,
right?
15 minutes earlier.
But that dude fouled him twice. That was Segura, who also, like 30 seconds before that, because I rewatched the game today, fouled Camacho and then fouled Amundsen, was playing like an idiot. Like, that dude should have been carded like 5 minutes before that.
Let's just do this. You can't punch somebody.
Right.
How many minutes of soccer have we watched where
it's a contact sport? And didn't Hinestroza come from like Pachuca in Mexico, which is the dirtiest league in the entire world? He should be used to getting fouled for no good reason.
And they're mean.
And his reaction, they are mean.
Got it.
Yeah. His reaction.
And I'm not going to take anything away from a player who goes back aggressively during the run of play.
100%.
And commits another foul on somebody as a retaliation.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. And don't go in studs up. Don't be stupid. Don't.
Well, Camacho was already pissed, and he
stuff.
was in that dude's face immediately. If you watch it again,
Camacho
wanted to get him too. I disagree with the Hinestroza thing, and I think I might be in the minority. But I didn't think there was that much hype about him coming in, and I watched because they showed his highlights, but then when you read his stats, it's like, yeah, he had like 5 goals, and they showed the 5 goals, but he only had 5 goals in like 40 or 50 games or something like that. Like, his stats weren't great.
All-star. He's like a Techers Tuesday highlight reel that never actually amounts to anything. They sign
he's like a Yoboa.
Social media posts.
Julian Green.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm pretty sure from what I understand, he does get along with the players, which I kind of think is important.
Cool.
And I actually think he's good. And I think he reminds me of, I think if he stays on the team for like a year, he will get better.
I don't think about
That's
that
my
guy
opinion.
at all. I don't think about him at all. He's barely ever played.
Yeah, he's like 6 in the depth chart. Like it's
Right.
it's a.
I mean, it's
he got
really
something
dumb
with
that he
Taha.
came in really late and then managed to get himself sent off. Like,
But we're not going to miss him on Wednesday
No.
against Charlotte.
No.
It's not.
No,
like,
but their red cards they're gonna miss. Just
100%.
like
Oh, God, yes.
yeah, like theirs are 2 starters, and like since he got red carded, that was Miles. Like they're gonna miss that dude because
I don't care. I don't care if players on the team get red cards. That's part of the game. It happens. Stupid decisions, all that. You are literally a player who is coming in the 85th minute or 84th
in
minute.
garbage time.
In garbage time.
Yeah.
In a 4-goal game.
And picking up a red card, like that is just, and you're fighting for playing time, and this is what you like. No, that's stupid.
Yeah, but like
he
Tim
has
Weah
the talent.
did it.
He may develop. That's
We're
not
gonna-
the same thing.
It's not the same thing at all.
No.
I don't think him retaliating is indicative of his.
What was your take that you got heat for? What did you say that you got heat for?
All I said was that it's time for the Hinestroza experiment to end, and you know, I got like 3 or 4. Yeah, no, totally don't see what this guy's hype is, and then I got probably 5 or 6. What the hell are you talking about? He's the second coming of Guillermo Barros Escaloto. He's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's got so much potential, and I'm like.
That's it right there. Yeah, he does. He has so much potential.
My favorite thing was Ben.
I failed to see it.
Ben tweeted you and just said, "I hate white people."
Was it white? I thought you said brown.
No, he hates Chris.
He hates
it's
Chris.
me, right?
Okay, I get it.
No, I just like yeah, sure, he might have potential and he might have an XG, but like show me something. No, I don't want to see the right hook.
I didn't think he was that hyped.
He was so hyped. And it might just be with the sections of the internet that we all hang out in that some of us are seeing more hype than others.
I'm only on the dark web.
I also see a whole crap ton of hype for Taha. And I'm like, Taha might be good someday if he eats a couple of Big Macs and, you know, turns 21.
He is a child.
He is an absolute,
he is a baby
child.
I'm on the Taha train. I will.
I don't know enough about Taha to make a decision, but I
saw some
look at
highlights
the guy.
of the Georgia Cup. He's good, man.
A lot of people that watch that youth type of stuff are really high on Taha. I don't think anybody that watched him play a Crew 2 or on the Crew senior team.
That's why you got to get on the dark web.
I look at Taha and I'm concerned that he's not going to pass his social studies test and be eligible to play for us. Because he's a baby, and it's cool that we have a what is he? He's like 16, legitimately, right? It's cool that we have a 16.
He's
18.
It's cool that we have an 18-year-old who is getting meaningful first team minutes, and what happened on this last Saturday here in Columbus, where Taha got knocked over and Cucho came to his aid. It's great that the team is doing that for him. It's also telling that nobody stood up for Hinestroza when Hinestroza started to get into a fight. But that's a whole other thing. We're not going to go back there. I think
but just for a second. Yeah.
I'm telling you, the friends. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to digress, but did you all notice?
Fishing at Hoover.
He really does. He does remind me of Luis Diaz. Like that type of player, like where it's like, if only he was good.
Right. Like Luis Diaz was so fast.
Justin Merrim.
It is. That is a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Justin Merrim was at least a good dude.
Worst Crew player ever. Sorry.
That's right. He's very close. It's like a step over competition. Hinestroza is probably flashier than Merrim, but you're just like, this guy's really good on the playground, I bet.
Did you see that hook, that meat hook he put in?
Oof.
All right.
Trey's mad because Merrim winked at his wife.
Yeah.
I love how they have like a thing, like a nickname for like kicking the ball with your right foot for Justin Merrim only. We're like, oh, he gave him the meat hook. You mean with his dominant foot he kicked it?
Yeah, he cut in and made it dominant.
Whipped it in.
Yeah, the first
right
Justin Merrim meat hook was pretty
right to the head.
Pretty damn spectacular.
It was. I mean,
2011 Crew fans were just so starved for any offensive anything. They're like, he kicked it with his foot.
and then it went in the goal.
Yeah. Got to come up with a name for that. Yeah, they call it a goal.
Right. it's a counted goal, compared to the expected goal.
It's not an expected goal; it's an actual goal.
Yeah, it's an actual goal.
Yeah,
they didn't have those back
They
then.
expected it though.
Yeah,
so it's probably like, yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, I hope that we can pipe in some of our missing brethren. I'm hearing word that one of our non-flying Cube adjacent team members may be joining us. So we'll be right, Trap. Girls, come to story time. In the great green room, there's a telephone and a red balloon.
Dad, please don't do this. Goodnight Moon is for babies.
It's a board book, dude.
Okay, fine. What's it gonna be? You guys pick.
Okay, we love this one.
Oh, A Massive Collection Volume 1 by Steve Sirk. This is the first wide-ranging collection of his work. It features long-lost stories dating as far back as 97. It has a lot of popular favorites from over the years, too.
Well, what is volume 1? Like it's quiet?
No, it means it's like the first of a larger set.
Oh, okay, so where's the next one?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because Volume 2 just came out. You can get it at Steve Sirk's website, circbook.com. It'll also be available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Links will be available at
We are not listening to you. Just go order it.
All right, we're back. Haas, check in.
Just quick.
Checking in from Lake Waukegan, Wisconsin. The game last night was beautiful. What a joy to watch that one.
You're talking about your Cube game, right?
No, that was terrible. That was like 15 Leinenkugels.
Is that a Cube term or
Leinenkugels?
Not quite.
It was right there.
So you were able to watch the Crew game last night?
Yes, caught the game live. So much fun. Hour behind. That keeps messing with me. I feel for you, Himmel, in the Central Time Zone.
Yeah.
Why? You guys were. It was like earlier, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but like watching trying to watch
work.
Copa America today, and they're like 8:45, and I'm looking at my phone. It's like, oh, that's another hour from now. Oh, it's 15 minutes from now.
Oh yeah, times. Oh yeah, I get
It's only 45.
Time.
It's 45 minutes.
Everything
difference in
advertises on television as Eastern time.
That's right.
It's a challenge.
That's right.
Yeah.
As it
Eastern
should be.
time only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morgan
It's God's
doesn't even
time.
believe that Central Time exists.
Yeah. Yeah. We're still not convinced Wisconsin is a state.
All right, so
It's like a
it
state
sounds
of
like
mind.
we talked briefly before we jumped on here. Your fortunes in the Cube tournament, and this is the World Cube Invitational?
Cube Nationals.
Okay.
Cube Nationals.
Cube National.
The
We did
fortunes
not
were not
perform well.
as rich as the crews in LA.
We had opportunities that we did not capitalize upon, and we went to the donkey bracket. And
The technical
the crew
term.
game, that was
know
just
about the
our
donkey
term
bracket.
for the losers bracket. But the crew game brought some joy to my life later in the night. Love it. We're the best. We're going to
we
win
are.
again.
We are. We'll talk about that. Is there expected cubes in that sport? Is there any
Not
kind
that
of-
I'm aware of. I don't think they have the technology for expected cubes.
Okay.
I don't think anybody does.
It's,
It's
a
a
game
vibe-
of,
it's a
you're playing with
vibe-based
wood, so
Okay.
old timey.
Okay.
Old time wood. The
Old-timey
89
wood?
The 89-year-old. What'd you call him? Slicky Dick?
Are they hardwoods or softwoods?
They're hard.
Okay.
Yeah. What is it
Batons,
like?
cubes,
Maple?
king
Is it a
cubes.
maple?
Maton's baton.
Batons, got some batons.
Or is it a walnut?
I don't
okay.
know the wood types.
Wood cast.
Species.
All right.
Wooden.
All right. Well, welcome to the club, Haas. You can hang on as long as your battery does. Let's jump into thoughts and players.
Thoughts and players.
All right. First thoughts and players. I got a couple. Let me think what I want to do. Let's talk subs. We know our starters are awesome, and I know we briefly touched on Hinostroza and how that almost got Lamakia kicked off of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk Matan, because
he didn't mention beheading him, so
not yet. It was a long podcast. So Matan,
I understood that reference.
Yeah. So Matan, they haven't renewed his contract, right? And we're thinking he's out.
That is correct.
Okay.
His contract expires at the end of the year.
Okay.
But yet he's not punching people, so maybe not.
He can't reach their head. So
good old nut job.
But I mean, ever since like that, I started hearing that rumor. He's come on and played like awesome, right? Like this last game was goal and an assist. He was like, I mean, I thought he played awesome. I mean, do you think we keep him, especially when we're, let's say we lose Matan, we have Russell Rowe and Hinostroza. They're like the people behind him. We already said that we don't like Hinostroza, and I think we're not.
How
sold
expensive
on
is Matan?
Russell Rowe. I think he wasn't. Yeah, go ahead.
So that seems to be the question among the Intelligista in Crew Soccer Nation, is that Matan right now is cheap and is a young DP, which we all know is a different salary cap hit. But if we re-sign him, he's going to want to keep a similar amount of money, if not a larger amount of money for salary, which will be a harder cap hit for us. So effectively, we'll make him more expensive. And the question is,
the young DP has like a cost share with the league, right, Chris?
Correct. Right. And a regular DP does not. And even if we, re-sign him not as a DP, he's still going to want more money than he's getting now. So no matter
Matan
how
is currently making $483,000 a year,
and we're only paying, I think, half of that, or not paying, but counted for half of that. And so the question becomes: is his output worth the, let's say, $600,000 we'd have to pay him to keep him, or do we let him go to Romania and apply his trade there for whatever the Romanian league is paying, or wherever he can go?
In no way is a non-starter worth $600,000 in MLS under this salary cap.
Especially what Nante's able to do with like other people. You know what I mean? Like put Zawadzki up there. Worst case scenario. It's like,
right. And but Morgan, the last thing Morgan said, I think, is the key: is under this salary cap. If the cap changes, or there are changes. Somebody wakes up at MLS headquarters and decides they want to, throw an extra $1.5 million on the salary cap, which they could very well do.
Where you at,
then
Dong?
At that point, does he become worth it under a different salary cap?
Not immediately.
From a personal perspective. Now, I'm going to talk about this little website called Instagram real quick. I've come across, and I don't know how, and if you ask me for details, I wouldn't give them to you. I've come across Alex Matan's girlfriend on Instagram.
They're married now.
Okay. What?
No, not her. We're talking about his girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm talking about his.
We're talking about dark web stuff.
Yeah. She seems like someone who isn't long for the Columbus lifestyle. She's
fancy pants, isn't she? I think I've seen her.
She's bougie, as they say.
If there's a place to put an injection in person, other than in the dark web areas, she's had it done.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Also, Young DP was my nickname in high school, by the way.
I will agree with that. And there have been some rumblings that she's not really fallen in love with the Columbus metro area as a home base for her Instagram modeling career.
I've been straight up told by my Applebee's waitress that Matan is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he is.
He's just going back to Romania. So you're trying to tell me that bougie lady wants to go back to Romania?
Somewhere in Europe.
Do you guys know how Europe works? Like everything is really close. So like, I don't know where Romania is, but like it isn't that far away from Paris.
It's a train ride away from Paris.
Is it by Wisconsin?
I was going to say,
like
I think
Wisconsin
it's the Wisconsin
to
of
Columbus.
Europe. Yeah.
No, it's like Grove City to Dublin. It's like
it's 20 minutes.
I got that one. 35
really
minutes.
Far.
Got it.
Really far. And if you work at Easton, it's way too far.
And if we needed to know, we could DM the girlfriend and find out.
I'm doing it right now. Hold on.
Can I ask the group a question? Let's say that Alex Maton doesn't cost us any more money. Am I the only one here who wants to keep Alex Maton just to piss Caleb Porter off? Or do y'all agree?
I can absolutely get behind that.
I think my answer is I have absolutely no problem with him being on this roster at what he's currently making or less.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I will keep him around just to piss Caleb Porter off.
No, 400. So it's 400 today.
483,000. Here's who's below him. Zawadzki, 421.
He's like this tall.
Amundsen, 398. Farsi, 380. Jones, 347. And then you get into like Schulte at 160 and everybody else below 100.
160. These can't be right.
No. That's 2024 salaries. Yeah.
Because they were capybaras last year,
Yeah.
Dude.
So, no, I mean, I have absolutely no problem even at 483,000. He's probably worth it to have on this roster based on who's above him and where MLS is going. But I could care less if he stays or leaves.
I mean, if you're the coach and you're looking at the bench and you have Hinostroza, him and Russell Rowe, and
he's not worth 600. He's not worth 600, and he's not worth any kind of headache that his wife may bring.
Well, and I think that
or his girlfriend.
If indeed the play that we're seeing is induced by the heat that he's feeling to perform, increase his value or whatever, I'll take it. I mean, he looked great last night, but I mean, he doesn't consistently look like that, and he's not really a starter. So
he's a young kid. You think the crew would want to get money out of him? You think they would want to sell him on instead of just letting him go? That's what the young designated player thing is all about.
Yeah.
Right. So keep giving him time. Keep giving him time this year. Couple more goals, couple more assists. Somebody will want him.
Yeah, he could wind up in Kansas City, right?
He could end up in Austin. Isn't that where all of our pieces of shit go?
That is correct.
Maybe Caleb Porter will see the error of his ways and take him to Boston.
Woof.
We'll see.
That 5'7" dribbly boy isn't going to look good falling down on artificial turf, Chris.
Again, every time he picked up the ball, I said dribble.
Just wonder.
I
said that out in the text. Every time he touches the ball, I'm like dribble.
I wonder how they would spell his name on the back of an airplane banner. Ben, what else you got?
I didn't want to touch on it, but let's just go ahead and do this. Let's talk about the USMNT rumors. And for that, we can go to...
are you talking about Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the dumbest fucking rumor ever. Sorry. That's the dumbest rumor ever. Not going to happen. His style will not translate to the national team. He doesn't have enough time with the players.
He doesn't.
Oh, you think that matters? Because it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't matter when they're going to make a decision. Like,
I don't think he's connected in the right ways. I don't think that he has the commercial appeal that U.S. soccer would be looking for in an alternate to Berhalter. I do not see that as a risk.
He's not one of their former teammates.
Exactly.
No,
he's from New Jersey.
He's not from New Jersey.
Exactly.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
That job is going to Steve Cherundolo.
It was until last night.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Because I thought last night was almost like a tryout for the next U.S. men's national team coach.
No,
because everybody,
I don't think
you guys say this, but like
he doesn't want it. I don't think he wants it.
I don't know if that matters.
What do you mean?
I think they're going to throw a bunch of. I think it's possible that they throw money at him.
U.S. soccer is going to throw money. U.S. soccer doesn't throw money at anything.
They just offered Klopp.
They would at Klopp. They would at
but Klopp checks those boxes. I was talking
exactly 100%. 100%.
Well, they can't throw Klopp money at Klopp. Klopp was making $50 million at Liverpool. He'd have to take he'd be making like 3.4.
Right.
And
which U.S. soccer is
Atlanta.
the
Chicago.
Right. That's the truck. Chris is right. That's right. And the Haslam's can pay Wilfred Nancy far, far more than U.S. soccer can.
Yeah, but
Wilfred Nancy doesn't. He's never played for the U.S. national team, and he is not from New Jersey.
No doubt.
And he did.
That we know these are the boxes you have to
1998 U.S. World Cup squad. So He checks in on the shit box.
The Haslams could pay him like the amount they pay a defensive end or something for a year.
I was thinking that when we were talking about Matan, like $683,000 is what they pay the spa boy who cleans the hot tubs at Paul Brown Stadium.
Listen, I'm just not convinced the Haslams know they own the Crew. That's all I've said that since day one.
It's
they're like the Crew. Like
You're wrong about that. You're wrong about that.
All right.
It's funny.
Jimmy Haslam cares very,
Did you not
very
see
much
the clause?
I'm talking about him.
They've been pretty active in the media over the past few days talking about their soccer toy, and there's been some interesting rumblings coming off of either Out of Berea or Black and Gold Boulevard, depending on which offices they're in that week.
Let's move on to that. Let's move to that thought. Let's move to that thought.
Soccer in Cleveland, right? And I do wish the Cleveland NWSL bid all the luck in the world, and I'm also happy for whoever the two guys are that are trying to bring MLS Next Pro independently to Cleveland. I hope that they have all the success in the world. But I think what you guys are referring to is the clause in the season ticket renewal that would allow the Haslams to host at least one, probably MLS regular season match at Cleveland Browns Stadium, which I think is an absolute, it's a mistake. And I've been torn all week on this because I know that there are a lot of legacy Crew fans, generational Crew fans in Northeastern Ohio who have been driving 2 hours each way to watch the Crew for years, and they would probably love to have a game in their backyard. But I think that to have that game either be some sort of meaningful match, whether it's MLS regular season or Campeones Cup or what's the CONCACAF Champions Cup thing, the CCC money grab that we play, anything that leads to a trophy, I think is a mistake. Or including in the season ticket package is a mistake. If you're going to host a game in Cleveland, it needs to either be not something that people in Columbus are locked into, or it needs to be not a meaningful match. And
it needs to be laid out explicitly ahead of time.
And people make all these comparisons to like Kansas City playing their match at Arrowhead, or the NFL playing matches in Europe. Those are different situations. Arrowhead is 6 miles away from Children's Sporting Park,
right?
From Sporting. And the NFL games that are played in Europe are not a part of the season ticket package. So those are apples to oranges comparisons. To have a season ticket match in Cleveland, it would be a terrible.
So let me ask a question. So I am not in a geographic position to attend many, if any, Crew games at home, but in a vacuum, I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, you throw one game up there, no big deal. Is the issue that this is something that's being sold in the Columbus market, and so you're being asked to leave that market for a game, or is it the broader picture of what's your long-term goal here?
It's both.
Like slippery slope kind of. Are you trying to relocate this? And then I would also be interested to hear from Morgan, but only if you do your Mike DeWine impression to describe what the Ohio Modell law would impact the relocation of a team from one Ohio city to another, and whether that would be allowed under that
first of all,
Ohio Revised Code bylaw.
Just want to say that everyone thinks that violence is wrong. Strong Ohioans don't need violence. Strong Ohioans don't need home games. They don't need home markets. They need grandkids and baseball. And me and Fran think that every abortion is one less grandkid for Fran. Strong Ohioans.
Thank you.
Thanks for putting that Werther's in your mouth. You can spit it out.
You're very welcome. Benny Lava.
So, all right. Are we talking? So,
yeah, is it a season ticket member thing?
Yes.
No. Is it a season ticket game? Like one of the 17 games Or
I mean, it would be the Miami game. Let's be real.
It would start with the Miami game. So let's be double real. It would start with the Miami game, and then they realize they can sell.
And we'd lose a home game. That's not a home game.
Wait, hold on. Timeout. My only thought to all of this is that we know MLS wants to be moving to bigger stadiums, and not on a permanent basis, but they want to have the flexibility to be able to host in larger venues. The Haslams aren't going to go knock on the door of Ohio Stadium. They're not, because they don't control the revenue.
To pay rent. Exactly.
Right.
And the field's too small.
And yada yada. You go down the list of things wrong with it. It's not natural grass. They're going to have to bring it in and cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Whatever.
There's no outfield, first base, second base.
Is Cleveland natural grass?
Yes. Yeah, Cleveland is. Wow. So from that basis, I don't have an issue with it, because that is sure. But I don't have an issue with it if it is the season ticket games that are not regular season MLS games. If you want to hold whatever Champions Cup there,
Stoke City.
whatever,
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, that's totally fine with me. If it's one of the 17 actual home games, that's where I have an issue with it.
And that's what the clause allows for. The clause is entering an allowance to play one of those 17 home games in a venue outside Columbus, including but not limited to Cleveland.
Okay, so objection or not, Chris, what do we do about it? Right, you're in the position to comment on that.
What we do about it is we, and I do mean the royal we, all of us, let the crew know that we don't like this idea, that we think it's a terrible idea, and we strongly encourage them not to do it. The board has put this on our next agenda for our next front office meeting. We've requested that Josh Glessing be at that meeting. He's not normally at our meetings. We've requested that he be at the next meeting, and so we can talk about this with him. But from an everyday season ticket holder perspective, call your season ticket reps. Remember that they have no decision making power. They're just selling tickets.
Definitely
be polite
not.
and all that. But let them know that we have nothing against making more money and maximizing revenue and growing the game and expanding the footprint to northeastern northern Ohio.
Yeah, they don't know soccer up there.
Don't do it with a season ticket match.
Okay, but I really, really appreciate Morgan meeting the moment of my impression request, but real talk, can they move the team to Cleveland?
Well, I mean, no, that's not happening. But honestly, for them to, I just think that oftentimes the connection you have to something is based on not what you say, but how you act. And they are only giving us this act. They're not even saying anything. So when we talk about scar tissue, there is very fresh scar tissue in Columbus, Ohio, amongst Columbus Crew fans. And it's real. And this isn't a perceived thing. We literally had our team attempted to be stolen from us. That only wasn't because we, the fans, stood up and demanded that it wasn't. For them to just include this kind of thing in season ticket renewals, or an article in Cleveland.com or something about how the Crew would have been playing in Cleveland, to not address it with the Nordic board, to not address it with anybody that I'm aware of at the Columbus Dispatch, or really anything. To me, it reeks of a disconnected, uninterested ownership group that kind of, I don't know. It seems to me like they have their head up their ass.
It's
so far. It reeks of something like the Columbus FC nonsense. And I'm not saying that they're not involved. I'm saying that when they are involved, you can fucking tell, because they end up doing stupid shit like this. To me, it's just
to the interior of the stadium. They redecorated the Tipico Club.
They tried to get rid of the color yellow. They tried to get rid of the name Crew. I literally had a conversation with Dee Haslam one time where she was like, It was at the reset meeting where they apologized and they're like, "Oh, we're going to keep the crew." And she was like, I just the Steelers colors were yellow, and we just thought,
sure.
Like, dude, the Lakers are yellow. The Iowa Hawkeyes are yellow.
Yeah,
what is wrong with you people?
That's why you can't have a crew game in Cleveland, because they just think you're Steelers fans.
Right. Can you imagine how the dog pound will react to seeing Brown Stadium draped in gold and yellow? Or gold.
But it won't be, Chris. It'll be draped in pink. This will be a away game for the crew.
Not the jerseys, the physical stadium. Because they do some decorating, right?
Which is still why I say, like, if it's not a regular season game, if it's not one of the games that actually matters towards the playoffs and towards MLS Cup, Supporter Shield, whatever, Cincinnati, I don't care as much, because you see these Wednesday games for whatever tournament we currently are in for the mid-season Champions Cup or Leagues Cup or you name it. I don't care as much. Where
they pipe in the weird music in the moments of silence.
I feel like I'm gonna have to be the bad guy.
No, I don't care. If we go play Club America and Club America can pack, First Energy Stadium or whatever it's called now, I don't care as much.
Club America.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you. Thank you for speaking my truth.
And we're all done. Wrap the
But if we're playing Inter Miami, Sporting Columbus, FC Cincinnati, Red Bull, you name it, that should be held at LDC. Period.
Do you guys remember when we played? I think it was Indy 11 in the Open Cup up in Akron.
Yep.
It was like a home game, but I remember the way that iteration of the front office handled it, and it was they told all of us rabble-rousers way before they announced it. They're like, "Listen, here's the thing," and they were honest. They said, "This is an Open Cup game. You guys have been to Open Cup games. We do not have enough time to sell any meaningful amount of tickets. So instead of having an embarrassingly empty stadium."
Yep.
We think we're going to try to play it in Northern Ohio somewhere and kind of spin it as, hey, we're trying to grow the game in other parts of Ohio. And that's just it. But the point is, they knew, because they were engaged with us, what the outrage was going to be, and they got ahead of it. And they had a plan. They had a communication strategy, and it worked, and it was great. So there's a part of me that's like, I remember that game up in Akron. It was fun. We were smoking cigarettes in the sections at the stadium. It was wild. There were no rules. They put our supporter sections next to each other. They literally had no idea what was happening. They couldn't process us. It was legendary. It was fun. But it kind of happened like that because the front office was smart enough and knew the market enough and knew the fan base enough to go, we got to get out in front of it with the Nordeck, with HSH and Murders Row and Crew Union and Tifo Sweat. We got to tell these people so they don't freak out. This iteration of the front office, I'm not a Nordeck board, so I don't know what they were told ahead of time, but they're just like, let me leak this to Cleveland.com and let me just throw it in the season ticket renewal process.
I got a text message that said, hey, read your ticket, your season ticket renewal fine print. You'll find an interesting clause. So, of course, I, like every nerd, pulled up all the legalese and went through it with the proverbial fine-tooth comb.
Okay, you're the only one that did that, minus the person who told
but I want to know who what spy agency told you, didn't
NSA.
tell you what to find, but told you that there was something to find.
The BBC.
It was the Applebee's hostess, not the waitress, the hostess.
It was Keith Knotts.
Definitely the smoking
I
section.
can neither confirm nor deny.
Smoking section of Applebee's for sure.
But is there a path here that could make I'm looking at this
sweet?
I'm looking at this completely different, going, man, if they were just yo, here's the deal. Opt in. You know how you could opt in for Aston Villa and stuff like that? If they were hey, we are going to have one regular season game, and even if it is Miami or whatever they want to hype up, and we're just going to take over Cleveland. I'm looking going, all right, we have Columbus.
Real Salt Lake, Ben.
No.
Well, they have Chicharrongo. That dude's dope.
The Mormons.
You're asking a very interesting question, because there are a couple of different ways that a crew game in Cleveland could be badass, right? But then that
I think
raises
it'd be
the
fun,
question.
kind of.
That raises the question. So how many crew games in Cleveland would be badass? If the Miami regular season game
just make it
is
one
badass,
game a year,
but what if we have a playoff game in Cleveland? Imagine how badass that would be. And then, oh my God,
what if MLS Cup? Yep.
We host MLS Cup.
Stop talking to me like that.
But wait, what if
a regular season game, dog?
So
I'm saying, but I haven't.
It is a slippery slope because
but here's my thing.
The Modell law says they have to play a majority of their games in Columbus, right? So that's what 9 home games in Columbus. What keeps them from playing 8 of them in Cleveland? And then you've got a shared custody situation.
Imagine if the front office had talked to the communications director for Nordic ahead of time and just told him, "Listen, man, him or her, whoever they are, this is just a one-off thing. If you're going to be on some shitty podcast on Thursday,
right?
A trash pocket. If you're going to go hang out with the boys in a club on Sunday, you can tell them this is only going to be one thing."
Gasworks,
but they didn't because they're dumb. I don't know. They're either dumb or they're ignorant.
Yeah, like I get, but that's what I feel like. This is what the heads do. They go, "I got this idea. Let's just put it out there." And then when they get the. It's like what politicians do. Like, let's just say we're going to build a wall, and then they're like, "Well, they push back," and then they come back and they go, "All right, we'll just put like partial wall." Like they want to get something in Cleveland, so they push it. They get the back thing, and they're like, "All right, well, here's like the fine print," and they still get their way. Do you know what I mean? And I also think it'd be kind of cool if they did like a third kit that was like the Cleveland Browns, and then they had Cleveland Browns colors for that game.
That's why you brought this up in the first place.
Yeah,
and the Cleveland Browns play one game at LDC.
That would be
all
right. So I think
Browns,
that's the swap.
Cleveland Browns staff is going to be ready for all the fans rushing the stadium like they are in Florida earlier tonight.
Right.
Yeah, listen, full disclosure, Haas is a Bengals fan.
Yeah,
dude. Back to your point, Ben. Is there a scenario in which it would be sweet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Because I thought everybody was just shitting on it. And I'm like,
okay.
No, I think the
takeaways are this.
Cool. Like,
takeaways
take over
are
Ohio, the 2 of the 3 major cities.
Yeah. Third kit. Do better.
We already don't have a third kit.
And tell
that attitude.
And voice
Split
your opinion. Right, Chris?
Talk to people. Talk to the people who matter.
Yeah.
They are so concentrated on getting kits to like podcasts, like welcome to C-Bus Instagram accounts. Like trying to get these like power player social media whatevers. These local celebrities into
Stop reaching out to us.
Like talk to your podcast hosts, talk to your Nordat communications director, talk to the person that runs Tifo Sweat, talk to the girl that lays out flags before the game. Have real conversations. This is how relationships are built. This is how you don't get 6 people freaking out on a Sunday night and saying like, you guys are out of touch. You're just a bunch of lunatic billionaires that painted the stadium gray and black because you don't like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Get over yourselves and talk to the people that matter. And those people that matter aren't fucking you.
Yeah, it's the people like us who do a bunch of work for free just because we really love the team.
Yeah,
and we're getting divorced because we're up really late all the time doing this stuff.
Whatever happens. In a kitchen, my wife is like, I hate this guy. And I said, Chris Lamacchia made me do this.
I thought you were talking about 6 young boys that stole a flag.
I did too. I was like,
wow. Election buddy.
I'm going to be honest.
There are no stronger crew fans than the 6 young gentlemen who felt that it was the only way that they could show their support by procuring that flag in the way that they did.
I don't feel safe.
I locked it. Yeah, you got to lock your doors, man.
Now we're on the same team as those 6 young gentlemen. Now the opposition should feel unsafe. Ben, what else do you have? We have not really. We talked about a player, and we talked about a thought. Does that check the box?
Yeah, I mean, no, that pretty much was the internet. I mean, the internet did blow up about that stuff prior to.
What stuff?
Like as soon as the
Cleveland
stuff.
thing.
Stuff. I don't have any direct quotes or anything.
Let's bring it back.
But.
So we have spent less time talking about the games during our recaps because it was taking too long. But I do want to circle back on the LAFC game a little bit more outside of the lens of how Matan's performance will impact his future with the team. I think a good way to guide that discussion is from Steve Sirk. We must have a Sirk stat for this.
This is Steve Sirk, and this is a Sirk stat.
All right, there is a Sirk stat. Sirk retweeted Another guy, again, I think his name's Rob _crew PR, which we confirmed he's from Puerto Rico. He said, Iron Man Darlington Nagbe sustained 4 fouls tonight. He's now the most fouled player in MLS history at 748, in addition to so many other accolades. He goes on to say, more importantly, that he is an even better man and father off the pitch than he is on it, which I think is a bit. He's more than
the fouls that his children and wife are giving him. This is like
Thanks, sir, for retweeting that. I had a bunch of other stuff, but I think we're just going to talk about his retweets or whatever because the new stat man is.
I liked the
Bob
20
Crew
goals, 20 goals in 5 games.
Right.
That was the one.
Wait, hold on. Can we go back to the Nagbe thing? Why did he even add that at the end? This is like a thing about sustained 4 fouls. Like it's not like he's scored.
He lives with Darlington. He's his son. That's the only thing I can. Rob.
He makes it sound like he has the most fouls in MLS history and also Parkinson's disease.
Right. It's like
he was really good at guitar in Back to the Future, and he's been fouled a bunch.
And
he's been fouled the most. He's a great dad, and we're going to miss him very much when he's dead in a week.
He should suspend his candidacy.
Got an ear injury.
Yeah. Also a deep fuck. Just murder me. I want to hear about the 20 goals in the last 5 games. That was the stat I was looking for.
Oh yeah, I don't have it up, but it's some type of record.
I just said it. That was the stat.
Do it. Yeah, Chris, do it.
Yes, the Crew has 20 goals in the past 5 matches. It's a 20-2 goal differential. And then Cirque added onto it and said the Crew set the club record for most goals in 5 consecutive league games at 20 and extended their record to 4+ margin of victory in a season, also 4 games. Cirque went on to say that last night, the LAFC match was the 20th time the Crew have won a league match by 4 or more goals. 4 of those have occurred in the last 3 weeks. The last 2 road games have both been 5-1 wins.
Oh my God. Yeah, and the Crew also just tweeted nightmare fuel, and it's the picture of Matan falling over.
Yeah.
Like after he scores his 5th goal, and they said first team to win at LAFC this season, and the first team to score 5 goals at LAFC. And I tweeted out last night that LAFC wanted revenge, and then just LOAK. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Does anybody
the rhetoric was bananas.
Does anybody look at that picture of Matan and think nightmare fuel? Because
I think that plays into the tiny, the little tiny vampire.
Honestly,
vampire Romania.
Okay, got it.
There's no way they
like a little Chucky doll outfit on him. That could do it.
That could do it. I don't understand the haircut with the high straight cut across the top. Doesn't really, whatever.
I don't know.
Trey, you're trying to
he has
to
hair.
The Youngs.
He has hair.
Yeah. Don't ever try to relate to the Youngs.
Yeah.
Phil Foden.
Yeah.
I just bought tube socks the other day. I feel like I'm on a different planet. You know that
Wait, hold on.
For wearing.
I agree with you because Sam's Club had them on sale. That's why I bought them. Yep.
Okay, I'm not that old, but
okay.
The youth find it outrageous that like those of us that are like normal adults like wear no-show socks. Like they just think that's like the most heinous participatory societal like
it was ridiculous
generality.
Like actually folding your socks so they don't show. Like
wait, are they cool? Yeah. Is tube socks cool?
Yeah, hold on, I'm lost now.
Yes,
are they cool or not?
Tube socks are
100% cool.
Okay.
Have you heard the newest front in the generational warfare between millennials and Gen Z? It's apparently you can tell someone's a millennial because they carry a wallet.
Yeah, well, that is kind of dumb. I haven't carried a wallet in a long time. Yeah, I do feel pretty youthful.
So I still carry a checkbook.
You also don't drive a car.
So
it's true. I gave that up.
But you still wear a chain. What's the chains connected to?
I'm not going to answer that.
It's connected in a couple different places. Okay.
He still has something very important he doesn't want to lose.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's his virginity.
All right, let's. Okay.
Wow, you have virginity chain?
The chastity belt. I think this is. I'm looking at the outline.
This is an inappropriate time to take a break.
Okay, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, do we have Crew 2 update?
Probably
we do. Okay.
Carlos here again to talk some Crew 2, who today didn't really follow suit of the first team and had a game that would be huge for them to win away from home, but they ended up tying and losing the PKs, but so they got 1 point. They went to Atlanta to play against Atlanta United 2. The game ended up 2-2. The Cappies led with the first goal. Jaden Da, who has been really good, scored at the 12-minute mark. He had a couple other big chances during the game. I think that he continues to be a good option in the attack, and I really like to see him playing. Eventually, though, I think that one of the big issues for us this season has been our back line, and I think maybe part of it is because of the rotation for the development, which makes sense. I'm not complaining about, but backline has made some mistakes, and they did a couple of times this game leading to 2-1, but it's not all of them. We had some really, really, really good chances as well that we are creating that ended up not being scored. And so going into the 80th some minute, it was 2-1 to Atlanta, but then Chris Pearson, who I am also a really big fan of this season, who I think was injured because he missed the last 2 games, scored a absolute banger from outside the box, giving us 2-2, taking us to PKs. Unfortunately, Pearson will go on to miss the first PK taken, and Brent Adujiamfi missed his as well. Both of them were saved by the Atlanta goalie, who, credit to him. Cole Johnson will go on to save a PK of his own because that's just what he does. He keeps on saving PKs. I think he has, he saves like 40% of them. He only saved 1 out of 5 tonight, but so it's a bad night for him when he only saves 1 PK. So 2-2, we are now in 7th place in the standings, which is the last spot for the playoffs. There's 11 games left. This is not a team that we've seen the dominant performances from previous years, but it's a team that is doing a lot more work to develop actual talent. A couple of interesting things that we saw today that I wanted to highlight on that regard is that Azure Jackson, AZ, who was just signed by the first team from St. Louis for, I think, $400,000 general allocation money, played for the Crew 2. I think he played pretty good. He showed that he is good in getting out of tight situations. He was a good outlet for getting the ball out the back, and he also had some good passes. So excited to see him and when he actually gets playtime with the first team. And also highlight that Xavier Zange, who all Crew 2 fans think is a huge talent, who has been plagued by injuries, was finally back today. He started as a sub, but then he subbed off. And I think it's really good to see him. I want to continue to see him play and be good. So it's good to see him back. Thank you very much for having me. And I'm a little distracted because I'm watching the Copa America final. And I'm sure you know who I'm cheering for, the yellow team. Let's go, Shakira.
We're back. Thanks, Bird. Glad we got a point. Yeah. Question mark. Okay.
AZ played.
Oh,
we were talking about it off air, but kind of pumped. I didn't get to see the game.
What allows him to play for the second team but not the first team?
Dude, I have no idea.
His skill.
A total lack of rules or interest from headquarters.
From MLS next.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a quick update before we get into the tables and predictions. The Run Club update. I just want to give a big shout out to the Run Club. A lot of engagement. Last week we did 208 miles. I think we've gotten like another 10 members since then. We did 284 miles this week. Greg got 42 miles and beat our president Stacy, who is with Mort on a plane right now.
Gotta text
got
him.
40. Stacy got 40 miles. Ben, you again led the host club with about 35 miles. Shout out to everyone else. Also, I just want to say that there's been some talk in the run club about race kits. Morgan is here on the line and has said that he can make that happen. So we're going to do that.
That's right.
We're going to do that.
As long as Stacy doesn't get one because she sounds like a... Is that fair?
No,
It's
that's
no
fair.
longer...
She has expressed
Also, I'm
interest.
scared to death of her. That's another thing.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at
I'm
your
not.
joke.
Careful. Choose your enemies wisely.
Stacy, you won't be getting one of my shirts.
All right, we're going to order...
Still not laughing.
Yeah.
All right,
She won't hurt us.
Okay. Let's get into, before we do the predictions, which I am now realizing that we are completely unprepared for, and the person that we would need to contact about is
Currently on a plane.
Yeah.
Hey, good news.
somewhere
Good thing I had
over-
the foresight to ask him.
Oh, okay. So you're prepared. Okay, great. Before we do that, let's go through the tables.
Just tables! 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 I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
So Miami is chugging that goo 1 point behind Cincinnati. Same 23 played. Now the Columbus Crew, it's an interesting goo story. We are 42 points, 21 played. So we're two games in hand. And if we were to win both, that would put us at 48 over Cincy, and I think is the tiebreaker goal differential.
So we would be
we would have plenty.
First tiebreaker is wins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
agree to disagree.
Are you sure? Do you have access to
Yeah.
Google.com?
You got them quick thumbs.
All right. Well, if it
I
is
mean, it
indeed,
was last year.
if it is indeed wins, I guess we would be below Cincy, above Miami. Some kind of weird arrangement, but the point is we're in the mix.
Yeah, but
The
FC
first
Cincinnati's
tiebreaker
going to.
is definitely wins. I just looked it up.
Yeah, that checks out.
Box.
Yeah, I mean Cincinnati has more home games, so they'll probably lose more. We should be fine.
And I'm not going to go through the whole playoff picture.
We play
but
them at
1 through 7 here. We went through 3. The next 4 teams all have played 23, as well, with Cincy and Miami. And in order, 4 through 7 are Red Bull with 37 points, New York City with 36, Charlotte with 35, and Orlando City. Have they always been Orlando City with 30?
Yes.
Yeah. Used to be a nation, but now it's a
We
city.
know it's a city, right? Like, why is it
Cool.
city? Is there another Orlando?
No, but St. Louis City,
Okay. All right. It's dumb.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then, let's see. Western Conference, LAFC. They lost
we don't
to
care.
us
It
5-1.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this week we are playing 2 games. We are playing Charlotte
at home.
and that's at home. Hopefully making up for the beautiful camera work away earlier this season when I was away and not able to chime in on the 90-minute ref bash fest that occurred here. That's on Wednesday. And then on Saturday, we have Atlanta. Charlotte is, as I said, in 6th place. And Atlanta is in 11th place.
Or Atlanta is in shambles.
What's going on with Atlanta?
They're
Anybody follow
bad, and they just sold like Caleb Wiley, and they sold Almada, and they sold Double G, GG for like $100 billion.
Speaking of GG, I've heard rumors of Berhalter possibly
going to Atlanta.
Yeah,
Nah,
trade in
he'll
the
go to
double
Austin.
G
They'll
for the
fire
triple
Josh
G.
Wolf and hire him.
Yeah, that actually checks out.
You think they're going to fire his friend and then hire him?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Fire the double F and hire the triple G.
I could see him going to Atlanta.
Like, how
and
many
then
letters are
hiring
in your
Josh
name
Wolf.
consecutively? Like, you have a lot of
It's-
one letter in the
gonna
middle of
come
the
down to
alphabet.
PowerPoint.
True.
We know it's going to be a PowerPoint thing.
Dude, Berhalter-
Which is an arena in which he's undefeated. He cannot be even approached.
He's just going to come
like
up with
U.S. Soccer came out with a statement like after that search. They're like, listen, we had a bunch of qualifications. One of them was like doing a presentation, and he just murdered it.
Yeah.
There was nothing we could do.
Do you think he has one of those little red, like, chase your cat things? Like, check this out. Like
the president of our board, Clippy, has weighed in.
And no one will get that.
It looks like you're trying to be mediocre. Would you like to hire?
That one will not go over well with the youngs. Okay, let's get into the predictions. We'll do where are we at in the tables for predictions? All right, I'm doing this on the fly because Mort is on the fly. He's in the lead. He got a point because he predicted a win. He's got 18 points. Ben, you predicted a loss. Trey, you predicted a win. So, Trey, you and I are tied because I didn't get a point. I'm at 17. You're at 17. Thank you. Do some more of that. Do another one.
It's happening.
Give me another one.
I'm just glad we're the only podcast who does predictions.
It was those Korean vibes.
Okay. Hold on.
Cornrows was a tasteful choice.
Ben, you're in fourth with 16 points.
Nice.
And Haas, listed last and also in last, has 15 points. Because he... Okay, so we've got 2 games this week. Let's get into that. All right, let's talk about D's next
I don't know. I thought
you got to think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
All right, let's go around here. Benny, you say 3-1 Crew. Great pick. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I actually have Mort's prediction. He said 1-0 Crew, which seems like for someone who's for a team that scored 20 goals. Wait, what happened? What'd I do?
I asked you about your score and you told me Mort's score. So
yeah, my score is
nothing to add.
All right,
nothing
so my score is correct.
All right.
Mort predicted.
Mort predicted 1-0.
I feel like that was a dig against me because I said we were not a 1-0 team. Okay. What else did he say about that? Anything?
No, he sent me a picture of his
complimentary peanuts. Haas. Did Haas send a prediction?
No.
He just texted, so we're going to get it in about 30 seconds.
Okay,
you
cool.
You texted him? Okay.
No, he texted us.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost power, y'all.
Okay.
He's dead.
All right, so we'll go really slow.
All right, do the rest in DeWine voice.
I can't do that. I got to throw to Morgan on that. Here's the trick. It's just a Jimmy Stewart impression.
Okay.
Just you talk about strong Ohioans.
Play with it for a while.
There you go. That's pretty close. Higher up. He has a higher. You gotta get it up here.
Oh, it's kind of back of the nose there.
Yeah, it's back of the nose.
Nasally.
Yeah. Really get your sinuses involved.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when he was doing his Wine with DeWine thing, where he was literally talking to the state of Ohio every night, just updating on dead body count. And he would go like, before we get to the press conference, I know people like to look at the ties. I'm wearing a tie with baseballs on it. Anyway, 250,000 people died yesterday.
and then he'd give Fran's pie of the day recipe.
Yeah, Fran's peach cobbler. Let that soothe you and wash over you after your friend died next door.
Could you smell him?
What was your name? Fran?
Okay.
Change your name. Right?
Okay. Trey said so. To recap, because I lost track. Ben said 3-1. Mort said 1-0. Trey says 3-0. No commentary, right?
I have Haas said 4-0. So
Haas said 4-0. Recency bias.
If
Chris,
you want my commentary on my score, it's Haas's score is 4-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Check.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Chris, who said 4-1. Morgan said 2-0 in Spanish.
His name is
that was off
Korean.
air, of course.
Please refer to me as Korean woman. Thank you.
And
we don't have a
what did I
problem with
say?
CLT.
Did I say something?
as
2-0.
Okay.
I said
going.
2-0. Okay. All right.
Jesus.
So I think we all said a win to a number of different degrees. Sounds good. Let's jump to the Atlanta game.
You're dumb.
All right. Ben, you said 0-3 crew. Damn it.
Yeah, dog.
Mort said 2-3 crew.
Yeah, also correct. He did the correct jingle jams and the what you happens.
Yeah, Trey, you said 1-3 crew. Man, we all kind of feeling the goal vibe here.
You...
Haas, did we get one from Haas?
No, he did. No, I don't
No,
think.
not yet.
Well, yeah, we asked him.
All right.
This paddle.
Okay, so let's move on.
Wisconsin.
I said 0-3 crew, girl crew. Morgan off air.
Morgan said words.
Hold on. Morgan said that he was tired of being mentioned in our Twitter posts because it causes too much internet traffic. So I think he's trying to tank our podcast. And so I'll say the following. Atlanta 1-1 tie. Eat daddy. Doesn't care what you think. Daddy's a Korean woman with greasy ass hair. Chris said Atlanta 2-0 win. Have we heard from Oz?
Yeah.
We have not.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're just going to blaze over that. Look, Captain Nordeck over there is like 2-0 loss.
It's only the legacy that we're leaving. It's only the legacy that we're leaving our children.
2-0 win.
When we're dead, our children will listen to this.
I'm sorry. Captain America, you put it the wrong way.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, I did. I did.
Okay. Well, Chris meant the Atlanta game. We're going to win 2-0.
Yeah,
Correct.
I got it.
We're going to win the
right.
Atlanta match.
He just said enter too fast.
I don't ridicule the guests. Who does that? Who does
Everybody
that?
else ridicules the guests.
Yeah.
I say this
Mars.
to my children.
You know
Don't
who
correct me. You don't need to correct me. I know more than
perfect. Yeah.
Before we hopped on here, if anybody doesn't have kids, just email us about how great it is.
It's so good.
It's
so
probably
good.
So
gratifying.
Lamagia came on and he was just like, he looks rested and well fed and not
well read.
He's actively resting.
Yeah,
He is. He is only woken.
His first thing he said to me
To predict the
today
score.
was, "I took a nap."
I took a
And I
nap.
was like, "Oh, okay,
Have we heard from Haas yet?
Nope.
All right,
Still
he forfeits that round. Okay.
he's gone."
He can't forfeit. He's already in last.
All right, guys. 2-game week. Charlotte at home. Man, do you guys feel like there's some kind of animosity towards Charlotte? With last year with the delayed game, or I say last year, 2 years ago, with the delayed game, and then we kind of like missed the playoffs because of the whole restart. Even though the first leg of that delayed game was like a midfield Zelryan screamer, and then they shut it down, and then we like fizzled out. I mean,
Do you mean,
Porter
are you
needs
asking, do the fans have some sort of animosity towards Charlotte, or does the organization?
you personally,
No, I don't think about Charlotte at all.
the beauty cam. We had the whole everyone. You hear all
Will
the
Sands,
Apple,
me out.
Will
Yeah,
Sands,
man.
Apple
that
announcers
was
like, well, the last time the crew lost was at Charlotte, and they don't say anything about like all the asterisks around that. Nothing.
But it was a loss. Who cares? It was a loss. They happened.
Okay.
What a shame.
Matthew Haas said 3-1 crew.
3-1 crew.
Sorry.
All right.
That's what he said.
3-1
Fine.
crew.
That's fine. And that was regarding the Atlanta game, which was something that we
Correct.
stopped talking about a few minutes ago.
So
We're
he
trying to
same
gaslight
score
you guys against Charlotte. Like, but what about this? And they're like, don't care about it. Like, but what about this? Like, don't think about it. It's like,
Don't care.
All right,
me
so
either.
it's no big deal, but it is an Eastern Conference team. What do you guys think about we beat LA, and so that's great.
LA is
I
super good.
I did feel a little. I mean, the whole like playing Western Conference teams, we don't play all of them, and is this a conspiracy against the Crew to have us play a really good team in the West to try and knock us down? Thoughts on that? Anything?
MLS 100% has a bias in their scheduling. And I base that only on when Mixed Discaroo did not sign for us, but signed for NYCFC the next year.
Mm-hmm.
A high-ranking member of the Crew front office was like, they changed the NYCFC game that was originally scheduled for like a Saturday to like a Tuesday or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what I mean? They're doing that because they know you guys are going to like yell at Mixed Discaroo.
Mm.
Like they're actively afraid of you. This is way before Save the Crew, way before any of the, Capo Gate with Seattle.
So you think there is like a lot of thought put into the schedule? It's not just like put into an AI like jingle jam. They're just like, have at it.
100% yes. Which makes the fact that we have not played Austin at home the most outrageous possible.
That's
no,
definitely
100%.
intentional.
Yeah.
I will say that there was a significant amount of dust on Mixed Discaroo in my memory.
Man,
and I had to kind of like
as soon as you said
NES cartridge blow the dust off of that one, but like
I mean, it worked out. We got Kai Kamara instead. Like we literally went out and got Kai Kamara instead, and then made that run in 2015.
Yeah, good call. Yeah. That's a good call.
And Discord's playing in some like C-level squad in Greenland or something.
Oh, so he's a middle school teacher.
Have we actually played Austin yet?
We have.
Yes. In their first year, we played there.
So
besides that,
so if we
I didn't think so.
If we play them away at any point, did you guys go to that game? I feel like you guys had to have gone to the game.
Absolutely not.
You didn't. Would you go to the game? I'm going to go.
I'm the odd one. I would go. I would 100%
go.
There's great food in Austin. Austin's a cool town. Like, I would go to visit Austin.
I don't.
What kinds of foods are there?
I played South by Southwest twice, and I'm just like, I played Stubbs.
Yeah. They have good barbecue. I would spend a weekend in Austin, but I wouldn't
take
go
diarrhea
out of my way to do it.
bed.
I wouldn't spend a whole shitload of money to do it. And I would spend a weekend in Austin whether or not the Crew were playing there.
Ugh.
Really?
People can hear you.
You're being recorded.
I'm going to beep most of that.
I had
you're like, I think Austin isn't it. I'm just gonna like.
I had a work meeting that I went to like with all coworkers.
That's awesome.
In late February in Denver, and I went there and I was sitting there across, let's say a dozen people, and the person I was sitting across from was from Austin. I didn't know this person very well. And they started talking about Austin, and they're like, "Oh, like what, whatever." And I couldn't help myself but like start freaking out on this person, and start. I
Haas around children.
Let me take you back,
And that's the thing; they will never understand your hate.
No. Right? It's like Lamar Hunt. You know who Lamar Hunt is, and so like you have all the way back,
or was he
like,
drinking IPAs?
So many drinks in, and I like get to the end, and then I realized that like I stepped over the line 15 minutes ago, and they're just like, I never want to talk to you again, ever.
You're like, you skunk.
Yeah.
You're just like laying on the couch filled with
I felt guilty because because I think that they had said something like, oh yeah, we have this soccer team, and a lot of people are into it, and it's like
all they asked was like, "Hey,
I became
you have children. How are your?"
I didn't even say anything.
I
didn't disparage this person, but like the amount of hate that I poured out on like everything surrounding that team was enough to make this person that I will never have a professional relationship with now. Really like want to not be in my presence.
See, I realize that I'm what I'm about to say is in the minority of us Legacy Crew fans. I am so apathetic about the city of Austin, about Austin FC. All of my hatred is directed at the leadership of the franchise. I hate the Precourt.
Joshua Jackson.
For sure.
Yep.
I hate
and Michael Jackson.
All of the people that left Columbus to go to Austin, that took those big fat checks, that left this to go to that. All of my hatred is directed at them and the members of, I can't remember their name, whatever the
start naming people.
No, the AstroTurf MLS to ATX.
Oh yeah.
Those I hate those people. But the city of Austin, I am so apathetic towards. The run of the mill Austin FC fan, I could give a shit. The actual players of Austin FC and whether or not they are winning or losing games, I could give a shit.
I care. I still care, man. I hope they lose every game.
So
they lost last night.
Ben actually hates Austin. I hate Cincinnati.
I don't hope that they lose every game. I hope that they become financially unviable and are forced to relocate.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Or no. Honestly, even if they just sold to somebody else in Austin,
if Precourt sold, the hate
fine.
would go away. Yeah, I would.
Me too, 100%. Which is why I don't want them to sell.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, they're absolutely the villain.
But I don't give a shit about the team. I don't give a shit about their average fans.
I care way too much. I'm with Morgan.
Wait, hold on. You need bunny ears around fan.
Right. If I were in
it's
Mars' position and I was in a work thing and somebody mentioned that they were from Austin, I would immediately play dumb, like, "Oh, really, Austin? Where's that?" And be like,
it's a transplant.
It was late.
New Mexico.
It was late.
No,
I couldn't help it. I didn't attack this person, but I realized too late that I had gone too hard.
We've been somewhere before where like we were at a dinner or something or at a wedding reception or something, and someone at the table was like, we were all going, "Oh, where are you from? Where are you from?" And someone was like, "I'm from Austin," and Pam just looked at me and was like, "Don't." Like, she knows.
Yeah. 100%. We've said it before on this podcast, but like I watch Austin. I want them to lose every game. Like it's like if we lose and Austin loses, it's less of a blow. And I don't know why, but it'll be that way until they sell and Precourt.
And I think that what Chris said is right. Like, I don't care about them.
No,
I don't care about them, but I do want them to suffer.
I don't. Yes, like it's this weird.
But for me, suffering.
I want them to win trophies and lose and do it in front of empty buildings, the way that like Colorado did.
No. I want them to.
No. That's sick.
I want them to play for trophies and lose trophies.
Yeah,
no, it's like
that's
what
I
say.
want.
It's what I say about Haas. Like, I would actually be okay with them doing really well and getting to the precipice and having us destroy
and then us
them.
beating
like,
them.
Right. I'd be down with that.
You can't take that risk, man.
Can you imagine a playoff game?
Last year when
it would only be
Austin
a final.
FC 2 beat Crew 2.
Yeah.
I was genuinely like had a hard time with that.
That's where you lost your kids.
I was like, get my kids away from me.
Yeah.
I'm like, they need to go to bed. They're like, it's
But
2 in the afternoon. I'm like,
where
go to bed.
that was a JV game, and Tony Precourt's ego had him make a call to the league office and have us move a banner.
Yeah.
Like
he didn't go.
Then he didn't come to town. He wasn't even here.
And he sent Andy Lamborghini there, who is
did
two things down from me, and was too cowardly to come say hi.
I kind of like the name Andy Lamborghini though.
It's because we couldn't pronounce his last name.
Yeah, so he's definitely a slick back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I had to uninvite him from my wedding when this all went down.
Yeah.
Whoa. That happened?
Yeah.
Snake.
That happened.
Who replaced?
Nobody.
No.
There's an empty chair.
Lamar Hunt. It just said Lamar Hunt on the
both at the front office and at our wedding.
Yeah.
The Andy Lamborghini
is definitely not here.
All right. Hey. Okay. So
it's
we've
the wedding
got
farting chair.
Let me bring it back. I want to remind you guys:
Where
20
were we?
goals. 20 goals, 5 games.
Oh yeah, okay.
We're
really good.
Like
really good.
I know we're kind of going into a dark place here. Things are good.
Web.
Things are good. Better statistically.
Better than Ezra.
Expected goals notwithstanding. Statistically better than ever. I think we could even take that Holy Grail supporter shield this season if we play our cards right.
Supporter supply shield.
And then we're going to we got a few games here, and then we're going to go to the League's Cup, which means nothing for the league standing, but a lot of fun to watch. We could do great there.
A lot of money to be made.
Yep, a lot of money and
diarrhea.
Hopes and dreams. No No, actually, no diarrhea. Nope. It's a diarrhea-free tournament. And then we'll reconvene. I think we've got a great shot. So I just want to kind of bring it back to a high note here. We're doing great. 5-1 against our forgotten enemies from last season. It was a pretty Don Draper kind of move. I think that game meant more for LA than it did for us, and I was glad to put up 5 against them and break a new record for goals that they have conceded at home. We'll be back next week with a 2-game recap, and I can't wait. Until then, go Crew.
Go!
It's Crew time! I love you. Thanks, everyone, for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off-season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
As someone with like what I would describe as beautiful Korean woman hair, is just like the straightest possible. You could attempt to do something.
I hope that the video of that. I hope you could capture the video of me nosering Mort's blade and bow all over my face.
So good. So good.